Today I'm celebrating International Cat Day. The cat is an animal that I've had in my family for much of my upbringing, and I relate to cats much more than I do dogs. You know, there's often this divide between cat and dog lovers, and there's a certain respect I have for the cat which comes from its independence, even despite their domestication. It's as though they are willing to go along with being domesticated just so long as it serves them. And I guess that there's a very strong mirror there for me and for our society generally. There's a sense in a cat of a wild animal that is just about willing to tolerate the conditions of having food prepared for it, to being confined in a home for certain periods of the day perhaps, or to tolerate being stroked, and and sometimes they do have to tolerate it because, for instance, children haven't necessarily mastered the ability of stroking a cat. And it's funny because International Cat Day is designed to bring awareness to the plight of cats as well as their beauty, because unfortunately there are still many cats which are neglected, abused. Unfortunately there is still a lot of cruelty to animals that exists in this world. And again, that I can't help but see a deeper reflection in that, because there's still a lot of cruelty, not just in the world to animals, but also to human beings. And it reflects that, that we have a society that is still far from being healed in terms of our relationships with each other and with the natural world, of course, of which we are a part. For me, the thing that I really think of today is about this aspect of our own domestication, the aspect of our own going along with civilization and its demands on us, and our willingness to sacrifice the more wild aspects of what it is to be human in order to accept the comforts that go along with this civilization. Perhaps there shouldn't be any contradiction, and yet in order for us to be able to experience the stability of a society and the predictability of a society that we do, there are certain aspects, human aspects, that we have been adapted to for tens of thousands of years that get neglected. The demands of, money is this incredible thing that allows such a fluidity to our society, and yet at the same time it demands that people behave in certain ways that the way our society is currently structured, we must pay rent for the right to live on the land in a way that no other animal ever should. And cats kind of go along with that. The rent they pay is the restriction on their movements. But they're willing to accept that in return for food, and in the same way we are willing to accept food and the bounty that is afforded by society in order for these restrictions on our movements. Yet certainly for myself, I feel those profoundly. It seems really unjust, really. It's an act of injustice, but it feels unjust to me that one should not be able to build a shelter for one's family, or to harvest food from the forests or the lakes without permits, without permissions. I know that it's very difficult to comprehend or to imagine how a society that operated in that kind of way would look. And yet there are certain things that I consider rights, and rights aren't inscribed anywhere. Some people might describe them as natural rights or God-given rights, but for me it just comes down to the ability to self-determine. And that doesn't give an excuse to psychopathy. It's not like I'm saying you should be able to do whatever you want without any consideration for the effect that that has on others. I believe in the golden rule that what we do to others we do unto ourselves, and that we, the ultimate acts should be done in the consideration of, is this good? Am I hurting anybody? My rights end where yours begin. We don't have the right to hurt other people. And there was a time in Great Britain where the common law did enforce people's rights to self-determine. And I'm talking way beyond 1,000 years here. This is ancient Britain, long before the establishment of the crown. But all of this to say that today, on International Cat Day, I would like to take a moment to admire the wild spirit that has never been fully tamed, that we can see reflected back to us in all domestic cats, because they only tolerate our care just so long as it serves them. So today, a thought for the cat.